Yeah, thank you very much for nice introduction, and it is pleasure to be here. And I was also listening the previous stories very nicely demonstrated about the PV
Uh,
system. So
I'm
first of all, I
sorry,
would
Mr.
like,
Dr.
yeah,
Gautam, the screen is
yeah, I switch off
okay.
the screen. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
first of all,
thank you.
I would like to thank organizing committee for connecting with us, and it's always pleasure to communicate with other people and also share what we are working and what the collaboration we can do in future. The ultimate goal is to solve the global warming. Otherwise, everyone is going to suffer. It's not about Indonesia or not about Singapore or not about Europe. So problem is in your doorstep. So it's time to work together, and it's time to work and with the society, because still PV is not at the level what we supposed to do. I mean, even though PV discovered a long time back, but if you look the electricity generation from PV is only few percent, so maybe less than 10% globally. So that actually is not good for the whole society. So it is responsible to us, academic scientists, as well as business developer, to move fast and to convince people how it can solve the problem. So today I'll be touching very surface level what actually we can do as a company or as an academy to bring the solution. So with that short note, I want to share my screen and we'll talk about little bit about what we are doing and how we can contribute to the society for the greater future. Uh, so as mentioned, currently I'm in the CEO of SunConnect Private Limited Singapore. Is a company for the green energy solution. So previous that actually I was working for a decade, almost 13 years with the one of the pioneer institute in Singapore. It's called Institute of Material Research and Engineering under Agency of Science and Technology Research. So ESTER actually. So where I used to develop a lot of advanced materials and technology for the renewable energy generation, as well as savings and the storage. So my all my education actually in India, like long back 2001 to 2003, I was working the PhD in Jadavpur University, one of the pioneer in India on physics. And then actually I work in globally, like first initially I was working in UK, Newcastle University on the advanced material for devices like high-speed transistor. I'm moving from UK to Singapore initially 1 year attached with the NUS on the same high-speed transistor, and then actually I moved as a scientist to the Institute of Material Research and Engineering, where we work a lot of advanced materials for the renewable and sustainable application. For a short span, like around 2019 and early 2020, I was attached as a professor with the Southern University in India. And then actually, like 2020 onwards, actually full time with the Sun Connect, where our target is to bring education as well as technology to the commercial aspect and education institute, because we are there to develop young leaders for the renewable energy. We are not that company who only provide the solution technological. We are here to also provide the knowledge. So that's actually play the Sun Connect, because Sun Connect is a team of scientists, academic, and business developer. What actually exactly we're doing in Sun Connect? Sun Connect, we are providing the solution for best yield. So we design the solar panels. We're working with the manufacturer, whether cell manufacturer or module manufacturer. We are helping them what is the best BOM, bill of material, so that your module is high performance, high yield. At the same time, there is a scope to improve the cost, whether you can reduce the module cost or you can improve the reliability of the module. We also design the plan. So PV plant design and engineering also is supporting, as you currently know actually, because the asset management is the key. I mean, compare with two also, like when you have asset, you are getting free electricity. However, if your asset is not performing at the top level, how to detect it? So you are talking about mega scale project. So how to detect it? So there should be the way where you can first detect and you can provide the solution. So that three main aspects actually we are working, and together with, as I mentioned, Education Institute also are the one sector where they are giving the solution of PV module for the power generation and also giving the knowledge transfer to the education to motivate the young leaders or young students. So this is some of the key actually where work, as I mentioned, we improve the PV manufacturing quality and the PV module. The same times the design also implement of the module, and as well as the sustainability is coming actually. So you are also looking for the storage. So we have also another startup company, the Vanadium Flow Battery, where we working together. This is the startup company from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, and we are working together to provide the hybrid systems, the storage with the PV. So some of our portfolio actually where we are working as a solar film, we're working for solar film and also the residential project and commercial buildings. So these are some of the example actually where we participate to improve improve the PV asset management, or even we audit the PV module before it deployment, so that the PV performance can be in the top level. So this is some of the examples. The key highlight of the Sun Connect started around 2017 with the scientist and business developer and doing very great in Singapore and locally, like we have a project with Vietnam, Philippines also under discussion, and then we have also a lot of projects from in India, where the globalization after that, India also is moving very fast for the renewable energy. So this is some of the key points I'm just covering. So being a company, actually, we always believe in innovation. So that's why we always work with the partners. So like NUS, one of the leading institute in here, and then also we work with the Nanyang Technological University, STAR, where I used to work, and then also we have partnered with the Open University. So we work most on the materials side as well as actually the system sides. Like Solar Energy Research Institute is a very famous for the system side, and we discuss with them and we do the project to improve the PV module reliability. Very key actually for my talks. I'll not make the boring and I'll make it short actually. And if you have any question, you can interact or you can do at the end actually. So just now we finished actually COP26, and that is all about your global warming and sustainable energy. Why it is important, I'll be touching that on, because that is the fundamental why we need the silicon. I'm going a little bit basic level because there are some participants who cannot be in the same background, so that's why. So the silicon-based photovoltaic devices and BOM materials, it is very important actually, because one is silicon solar cell, and then you make is the module. After that, your system. So there is a bill of materials involved with the overall process. So I'll be touching a little bit about BOM so that you have some ideas. PV systems, just previous talk also, I was listening, actually nicely explained. What is the important part of PV system, how you can tackle, even though your generation is good, but how you converting DC to AC, that is one of the important part. So that I'll be touch very short, and the challenges and opportunity. What opportunity we have, because if there is challenges, we are here to solve. So opportunity is existing there, every challenges, so we need to look. And some key messages, what we can learn from there. So this is one of the slides I'm taking from the NASA actually. So let's talk about weather, global warming, and the climate change. So all actually related, like weather we understand now. From weather actually we are going global warming, and that consequently actually giving the climate change. So that actually more actually like how your temperature changing like across the decade. So if you look actually, this is also from the NASA slide. So it's actually increased like at the current time. Let me see, where is my marker? The pointer. So the current time actually the temperature, if you look around from say 1900 is already 1.5. That temperature actually increased. So this is threatening for us because the global warming is, we know actually. So it's related with the greenhouse emission. So greenhouse emissions. So then how we can tackle, because otherwise the temperature will increase, and we know actually if another 1 degree temperature increase, how much ice will melt, and that problem has a significant impact on the overall sustainability. This is one of the slide actually where actually we can see. So when temperature increase around 1 to 1.5, still we can control and we can make our earth sustainable. However, if temperature increase like around 3 degrees or 4 degrees, this red region, then it is irreversible. So we cannot bring actually temperature down, and that is threatening for us. So in that case, actually, definitely the water level will raise. Okay, so and also you have all the problem with the food because there will be the fire forest and also the unexpected the flood, because you not expect the flood maybe during winter time, but that will happen. So that's actually our climate change. So it's related with the global warming, the greenhouse emission, and that transfer into the climate change. So this is the reason we have to work now to control this one. So this is actually how it's is a physical. We already know actually, but still, I want to flash this one that can ignite us actually why it is important. So if we look actually how the carbon dioxide of every kilowatt unit of your electricity, the electricity produced how, whether it's produced coal, oil, or natural gas. So there is emission approximately around 950 grams per 1 kilowatt unit of the electricity. So that's actually because of our modernization and because of our lot of utility electricity, so starting from shopping mall to Delhi comfort light and industrialization. So that actually huge electricity we are using, and every unit producing this much of amount of the gas, and that gas actually threatening for us. However, if we look actually green energy, like particularly solar, that emission is around 40, which is really negligible compare all this. So that's the reason actually we need to move the renewable. So there is also wind is another option actually also low emission. So this is since I'm background from the solar, I just highlight here solar. So this is the reason actually we have to move fast. So if you look actually typical uses of a commercial building, more than 60% actually you are using for the components, so for cooling or heating, if winter country is a heating. So that much we have to control. So then what is the strategy? How to control that? So that's why we are here. So to control the fight the global warming or climate change, what is the strategy to reduce the CO2 emission? We need to look three key components. One is actually energy source, which is actually renewable energy. Second is actually energy management, how you are managing the energy. So that is very important, the existing energy, how to reduce or manage actually. And the third, passive cooling. If there is just technology, is a passive cooling, then we can reduce the electricity consumption significantly. So the today actually most focus on the renewable energy, which is significantly cut down the greenhouse emission. And when we talk about the renewable energy, we know actually the leading technology is silicon. And if you look the silicon materials, the bandgap of silicon is 1.1 eV, which is actually in the range of like visible to near eye. So it's absorbed. So and silicon is the best material for the photovoltaic devices, and that's why more than 90% market is silicon-based technology. But looking future, actually, you should understand about the solar spectrum, and this, based on the solar spectrum, actually, you can design the material, and those material will be useful for the power generation as well as for a particular application. I will be touching some of the application actually. You can get later on what exactly I'm doing. And whenever you are in PV technology, it's always good to follow the PV technology performance, how the other technology is coming. We know actually silicon is the best technology still now in the commercial, but looking future application of the PV in a mass deployment. So there are other technology also coming. One of the technologies, perovskite-based solar cell integrated with silicon that we call the tandem solar cell. So that all the details you can get from here. So in silicon-based, this is a very fundamental step, and we know already silicon-based solar cell is involved with a lot of process actually, like from your raw materials to silicon wafer, and after that, like from silicon to ingot and wafer, and from there actually your solar cell. So in solar cell itself, we have a lot of steps to make wafer to silicon solar cell technology, and after that you come in module PV systems, okay, and then you conversion current. So these are all the important that stakeholders actually to improve the performance. So this is one of the slide how actually the silicon solar cell made, but I'll skip actually, you can look at it. So what is the important part actually I want to highlight actually, you have silicon solar cells. Now silicon solar cell you actually then make it a module, and that module actually consists of a lot of materials. Like to protect the silicon, you have the protection layer. Okay, so we call actually front EVA, back EVA. You have also back seat, and then at the top actually for a physical damage. So we protect by glass, and that glass is not the normal glass; it's a solar glass. So this glass has a low reflection. Okay, and that's very important. So those who are in the field or those who are studying or even in industry, so this solar glass is currently is a huge business. How to reduce or how to improve the reflection property? I mean, how to reduce the reflection and improve the visible transmittance? Because visible transmittance means directly your power conversion improve. And for a big plant, it is a huge revenue actually. So, and then is the aluminum frame. So this bill of materials is very important actually for every aspects, whether it is a EVA or whether it's a glass, or whether it is a metal electrode. So this is a basic slide actually why glass is important, because glass is directly facing the sunlight. And if you're able to reduce this reflection, then actually you're converting that light up to that cell, and that means actually you will get more conversions, because anyway your cell is available. So if we give more light intensity, you'll get, if you have a more light, you will get more electricity. So you have to reduce this reflection, and that's why a lot of work is going on. There are a lot of startup company who is working on the glass and reducing the reflection by integrating the nanostructure. This is one example where EVA also plays. EVA actually give like a different thickness or different. There are a lot of company actually who supply the EVA for the module manufacturing. So I'll suggest if you're interested, you can also search at some of the companies who actually leading for the EVA supply and how it protect the PV cell. So when we go for the system actually, so the system, there are in the previous talk actually you have the speaker cover quite a lot of things, but there are some of the key actually you need to understand. Like before you invest, actually you need to understand that how safe it is. It's like when you are going to investment, you have to analyze the land, you have to analyze the feasibility, and also you need to analyze the PV asset, what type of asset you are going to put there. Okay, and how will be your ROI. So this all actually the question you have to solve. And this is the question for you actually think and you can solve, and that will help you too. So one example actually when we do actually there is a lot of pre-construction investigation to make the maximize your efficiency of the plant. And also actually the other example actually when you're putting the module actually before put the module, you need to audit the module. Okay, so there is always third-party inspection there for the module audit before dispatch from the manufacturer. And since we are the doctors for the module actually, so we also do the third-party inspection and provide the certificate of the modules for the manufacturer to the client, so that client actually can design or can plan accordingly. There's a huge opportunity in the PV itself in the Asia. And if you look actually India, China, as well as APEC, actually the leading what is called the business for the PV. So for the in terms of company as well as in terms of the different stakeholders, you have a lot of opportunity to look whether it is a PV or design or materials or even the consultant or in the land actually itself pre-consultant. So other than actually PV deployment, we need to move the sustainability, and that is, so it's not only the commercial building on utility scale or even residential. We need to utilize the green electricity as much as possible, and we need to look at different aspects where we can bring this energy. So there are a lot of work already started different part of the ASEAN countries also, as well as the Asia. So like some of the slides actually where actually at the Vietnam and Thailand, they are working for the charge, station or the for electrical vehicle, the charge station, they are putting the solar. For small vehicles also, they are putting the solar to directly charge. In India, actually, they are introducing solar on the train and also the bus. Singapore itself, the tried actually prototype on the integration of the solar with the bus, because there are challenges actually when you integrate actually. The safety is there, performance is there, stability is there. So, but anyway, so with the movement, with the technology progress actually. So it is time to realize for the application of the different aspect, not only there. So the challenge actually, what actually at the moment. So currently the solar, as I mentioned, around 2020, the solar use is very low. But in 2030, in the recent COP26, we are looking at 30% actually reduction of greenhouse emissions. So where actually your deployment the solar is actually huge. And if we look around 2050, majority actually almost this region is looking for the solar. So there is a huge jump from the current scenario to in 8 years or 10 years time in 2030 and even 2050. So for that huge jump, actually we need to solve the resources, materials, as well as the land, where to put so much of solar actually, so that so you have a sufficient land space to install the solar. So with that actually, so now actually people are looking not only the land, but people are looking also that, I mean, traditional land, I would say, I want to mean actually the desert. So there are actually a lot of opportunity. Yeah, there is a challenges with the environment. You have sandstorm, you have other issues like the weather is very hot, but the already the technology is coming where we can actually utilize this desert for the utility scale solar cell. And in India, and as well as recent news actually from the PV actually in Chile actually, they are going to install the solar and then they want to supply by 50,000 kilometers somewhere into the ASEAN country. So this type of the innovation or else the technology is people are thinking to deploy the solar in the large scale and make it, whether it's possible to make one grid globally, not sure, but time will tell. But people at least in towards that direction. So because this is the challenge where we need a lot of space and the space how to solve. So recently, the last few years, actually, floating solar cell is one of the promising areas where actually the people are using the reservoir. And the advantage is here that the ambient temperature is low, so the performance of the solar cell is very good, and you can utilize actually that from your reservoir. So this is actually interesting. And recently, Singapore also installed one of the largest in the world actually rooftop solar just few months back. So considering this opportunity in Indonesia, I believe particularly when I visited Bali, actually there are a lot of mountain lake actually, and that lake can be actually very suitable place for the rooftop solar. So there are a lot in Indonesia actually. Land is one of the issue considering the geographical situation. Even though the sun rays is very good, but land is one of the issues. So need to look in the alternative space where actually they can utilize. So this is one of the beautiful picture actually from Europe. And they say actually this is the one first mountainous solar farm. So this type of innovative, what is called innovative um, installation. I mean, compare the traditional installation, we have to look actually. And even again, if you look about the geographical location for the Indonesia is very nice. Whether we can utilize the lake, mountain, or for the solar PV. The solar technology is coming not only for the electricity, now is actually also coming for the like agro photovoltaics, right? How we can design this preview with the agro, and there is a lot of fund available, lot of company also working for the agro photovoltaics. So you need to have a design so that your plants to grow is even increase or even faster the production. At the same time, you can get that land to utilize for the electricity. The building integrated photovoltaic, which is for the building infrastructure, is already started a long time back, but recent years actually is quite fast actually. Either whether it's a rooftop or whether the window or even normal what is called retrofit the building. So that recently the news came actually where actually one of the companies developing the frameless solar, the integrating monocrystalline solar cells with the glass and providing like around 40% of the 40% of visible transmittance. So this is one of the way actually where you can utilize both that electricity as well as actually your natural light. So natural light is important either for commercial building or even for the agro photovoltaics or greenhouse application. So there are few companies already working, and definitely we are also looking actually this option because this is one of the market is available currently our future. So the Oxford PV actually, Oxford PV is actually working and working actually last few years, and they are very much confident that that the perovskite solar cell will come, and that perovskite solar cell will provide a lot of advantage with the like in terms of cost and sort of functionality, because it can also be semi-transparent. So smart window, which is currently people are looking for the energy saving purpose for the commercial and residential buildings. So that will be one of the applications actually for this type of solar cell. Prism is another company from the Switzerland which are looking for the flexible solar cell for the building integrated photovoltaic purpose. There is one company actually in Australia where they are looking actually like how to channelize the light at the end of the window, and then that light actually the scatter light can convert the electricity so that it can use as a smart window, which is not only will reduce the heat, like it will improve the thermal comfort. At the same time, it will also give you the scope to produce some of the energy for emergency applications. Okay, so there are few paper also there with the transparent luminescent with solar cells, because this type of solar cell actually they're not taking the visible light. So in that case, actually the solar cell is transparent. So you have opportunity to integrate with the BIPV, like either window, smart window, or even the transparent roof. So that can give you actually the electricity as well as also allow the natural light. So this is some of the example actually where we can look other than the normal utility scale solar cell or commercial or rooftop photovoltaic. So I'm going to end actually. So I just want to highlight one thing, and that is actually when we are talking about a huge deployment of solar cells. So silicon is the best candidate, and we have the silicon-based solar cells. But to supplement the silicon-based solar cell, we also need to look the alternative material which can support actually this green energy scenario where we're looking 2030 or 2050 is a huge amount of electricity. So in that case, actually, we need to look what type of materials available, because there are very interesting material available where actually the light absorption coefficient 100 times higher than silicon. However, because of the intrinsic problem or the extraction cost, that materials is not being commercialized, or that materials based solar cell is not yet commercialized. So currently, actually, people are looking the one of the material like copper zinc tin sulfide. Okay, even though the efficiency is stuck at around 12%, but people are working across the globe whether they can move this efficiency to 15% or 16%, then this candidate will be very suitable for the semi-transparent solar cells. There is another interesting candidate also like inorganic material, the copper oxide or cupric oxide, particularly CO. The cupric oxide, the band gap is ideal, is around 1.5 EV. So it can absorb the sunlight much higher than silicon-based solar cell. However, the cupric oxide, since it's oxide, actually, it has a lot of challenges, like the material challenges itself. And the last 5 years, actually, or not 5 years, last maybe 8 years to 10 years, we are working in Singapore, and we developed cupric oxide-based solar cell with the efficiency 9%. There is a challenge with the interface actually. If interface problem solved, it can also jump to the 20%. And once this type of materials develop, the advantage is that we can integrate with the silicon and we can reduce silicon thickness. And that will help us actually in terms of development, the flexible solar cell or development of the high efficiency solar cell with low consumption of material. So this way, it is time to look alternative materials which can support the green electricity generation. With that, actually, I keep it short. So what actually my message? The message is actually that considering the current scenario and looking for the sustainable society or sustainable living, it is not later. Now, actually, we have to employ or we have to focus the photovoltaic technology or other renewable energy technology as much as possible. to provide the green electricity so that we can reduce the greenhouse emissions. Silicon-based photovoltaic technology is definitely the leading. However, we need to see how to maintain this asset. As I mentioned, that the utility scale asset is very important, the asset management. Otherwise, you will lose a lot of revenue every day. If your one of the module is not working, or it's the one string is not working, actually, then actually you are losing the money. So how to manage the asset, and to manage asset, the machine learning with IoT, like Internet of Things, together with digital twin, actually is people are working, and there are the product are coming where you can manage the asset efficient way with the lower price, so that your overall performance or yield of the asset actually is quite high. The semi-transparent solar cell for building integrated photovoltaic or even smart window is one of the key area where actually the business opportunity is there, because most of the commercial building now actually coming almost 50% actually window. Okay, so it's a huge opportunity for semi-transparent solar cell or the smart window, which can give the thermal comfort inside as well as can produce some of the electricity. And then that advanced technology, just now I also touched, which can provide your asset actually at the top level, and also can reduce your downtime. And that can provide the preventive maintenance, so that your asset is continuously support for electricity generation. With that, I thanks everyone, and I love to participate if you have any inquiry. And thank you very much for listening. Thanks to all.